Hello and welcome to my Dubai Fitness Challenge workout video. My name is Miriam and for the next 30 minutes I'll be guiding you through a Pilates class. Feel free to modify at any time you need and I won't cue breaks, so if you need to rest and take some water, then do. While we're in this together, today is you versus you with me. Let's get started. So we're going to start seated on the mat. In any position that you're comfortable. I like my legs crossed like this, but you can equally have your legs out in front of you. And then because Pilates is a lot about breathing, we're going to start off just with a little bit of breathing just to calm down our central nervous system. And then we're going to go into a really strong core workout. So hands on knees. Can I get us to sit tall through the top of the head? We're going to take a really slow deep breath in through the nose. Try to breathe right into the rib cage and into the base of the lungs. So we inhale through the nose, and as we exhale, we breathe out through pursed lips, as if you're blowing out a candle that's a little too far away. So it's a, and again, we breathe in through the nose, we allow our ribcage to expand, we try and breathe right to the top of the chest, and then we exhale and we allow everything to sink. We'll just do that 2 or 3 more times, trying to take a kind of inventory of how does my body feel today. So allowing our shoulders to relax, breathing in and out, just slowly as we just did, twice more. Maybe rolling the shoulders back and forth. And then we're going to start off with a little bit of side bending. So whenever I start classes, I kind of try and stretch our body out a little bit first so that the work we do when we do toning work is really, really effective. So fingertips either side of your body. We're going to lift tall through the top of the head. We're going to lift the left arm up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're going to side bend over towards the right. Reaching out through those fingertips, push down into the opposite hip. I'm going to get you to lengthen, maybe look up to the fingers. Dropping both shoulders so your shoulders are relaxed. We pause and hold for a second, then come all the way up. Place the palm down and do the same on the other side. So inhaling, reaching up with my right hand. I'm going to exhale and side bend to the left. And it should feel really good through the underside waist as well as you lift and press through the palm on the mat. Pausing there just for one moment. Let's do the same thing again, but try and go a little deeper. So inhale, reaching upwards. Exhale, we're going to side bend over, maybe bend into the underneath arm if you can. You have the flexibility. And then coming all the way up, we're going to do the same on the other side. So lifting tall, sliding the shoulders down the back. You exhale and lengthen over. If you can, drop down onto that forearm like we did on the other side. Lengthen and reach through the middle fingertips, pausing for a moment. We come all the way up, place the palms down, and then you're going to come onto all fours on top of the mat. So this is called tabletop. Hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to start with a really simple cat and cow stretch just to get your spine warmer. So palms are spread, knees are underneath the pelvis, toes are tucked under. As you exhale, can you breathe out? Flex your torso, round your spine, drop the head in between the arms, looking to the knees, pushing between the fingertips. And then inhale, we lift our chin bone and our tailbone. You roll your shoulders backwards so you keep your abdominals contracted. Nice, let's do that again. So breathing out, we're going to press through the palms, lengthen into the torso, drop the head and the tailbone so you're getting as much stretch through your lower back as possible. And then inhale, we're going to lift through the chest and look up to the ceiling. Let's do that once more. So breathing out, round the spine, push up into the body, lifting through the waistline, getting a big stretch between the rib cage. And then inhale, we're going to lift the chin and roll those shoulders back. Make sure you've not got tension around your neck and shoulders, yeah? Okay, from here, finding flat back. So that means tabletop. So my stomach is pulling in, my back is long. I'm directly above my wrists and my knees. I'm going to push my chest up so that my shoulders haven't collapsed. So keeping that feeling of engagement into the front of the body. Can I get you to breathe out now? Lift the knees an inch off the mat, hover and hold. As we hover and hold here, we're going to start to think about drawing your waistline in each time you breathe out a little tighter. Now I'm going to get us to do a little circular motion here now. So we keep the knees off the mat. We're going to rotate round 4 times around the palms, bring the weight over the toes. Come one last time in this direction, warming all of the shoulder blade muscles up and the arms. Come back into the center. And then we rotate back in the opposite direction. Good. Remember, at any stage, if you need to reset, do. Good. We've got 2 more in this direction. And then once more. Come back into the center, find that stability, press through your chest. Now extend your left leg back to the back of the room. Reaching out through the heel, you're gonna squeeze the abdominals in. Make sure both of your hip bones are facing down towards the floor. And then we're gonna reach the opposite palm just in front of you. So fingertips are in front of you. You're gonna engage the shoulder away from the ears. And then we're gonna inhale, bend the left knee in, and then exhale, we're gonna extend and stretch. So all of these kind of preparational exercises are aimed at strengthening and stabilizing into your core, so that the body stays stable and we have stability wrapping around the rib cage, supporting the spine and keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. We're gonna do a handful more just like this, so lengthening as you exhale back. Inhale, bending the knee in. We have another 3. Good, last 2. Now last one, lengthen the leg back and hold. Squeeze the abdominals in. Can you hover those fingertips and hold that position? Draw the shoulders down away from the ears and push your breastbone up, and then stretch and squeeze into that heel. So I'm really getting you to reach in 2 different directions. We're gonna hold for 4. Good, 3, 2, and then 1. Then you're gonna take that forearm and you're gonna place it across the front of the mat. We're gonna lift the heel, you're gonna point into the toes, and you're gonna then turn your body so that you're facing and looking back to the back toes. Rib cage is in, and I'm gonna get you to bend the knee in towards the elbow, and then breathe out and stretch the heel up to the ceiling. Inhale, we bend in, and then exhale, we exhale and lengthen up. Good. Now, even though it's my leg moving, I still want my abdominals to stay really switched on here. So I'm lifting up through my underside waist as I continue to kick right up to the ceiling. We're gonna do another 5, just like this. Last 4. Last 3, 2, and then 1. Then stretch the leg up to the ceiling. Can I get you to turn your body back towards the mat? Drop down onto both forearms, keeping the waistline engaged. The rib cage is pushing up into the torso. You're gonna drop your toes down to the mat, and then we breathe out and we squeeze the glute and lift up towards the ceiling. So you can see that my leg is staying straight, and also I'm gonna feel this on the top of my bum. But what I also want us to focus on is the engagement through the lower abdominals. So I'm watching that my back isn't doing this kind of arching motion as I lift and lower, right? I've got another 5, just like this. Last 4, and 3, last 2. Now 1, lift the heel up in line with the pelvis and then higher. Squeeze the abdominals in and go into mini circles. So squeezing from the top of the glute, you're gonna rotate your thigh bone in your hip joint for another 5. Good, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then can we reverse it back the opposite way? We're gonna go back as we came, lifting a little higher. Good, watch that leg isn't dropping. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Then pop back onto your palms. Bring the knee underneath the body. Press the breastbone back up, and we go straight into the other side. So, as I breathe out, I extend my leg. I watch that my hips haven't twisted from side to side, so my hip bone should be facing down towards the floor. I'm pressing into my palms, and I've got my shoulders down away from my ears. Like we did on the other side, you're going to stretch the left hand forwards as the right leg kicks right back to the back of the room. Now inhale, bend and draw the knee into the body, and then breathe out and press all the way away. Remember that your breath is super important with all of this movement patterns because it helps us simulate the move. So the slower and deeper you breathe, the calmer you keep your central nervous system, but also the more that you're going to use your abdominals. So when I forcefully breathe out as I extend my leg, what I do is I contract through my waist, right? So that's going to support my lower back. We often have silly analogies in Pilates. So in tabletop, sometimes we imagine a tray of drinks resting on our lower back so that we make sure that we don't rock our spine around. We keep it nice and stable. Okay, I think that's about the same as the other side. Let's lengthen out and hold. Shoulders are down, you're pressing through your chest. You're going to reach that left arm forwards as you hold and breathe. Good. Pull the tummy in, drop the shoulders away from the ears. We've got 5. Last 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Then we place that hand across the front of the mat. I'm going to rotate my hip out. I'm going to point my toes to the ceiling. I've drawn up through my underside waist. We're gonna bend the knee into the body, and then I breathe out and I kick it upwards. Now, as I do this, I know I'm facing the other way to you guys, but there's a good chance to see what this side of my body is doing. I'm trying to not allow my underside waist to collapse. And you have another 5. Last 4. Last 3. Remember to breathe out deeply as you extend the leg to the ceiling. Last 2. Now last 1, press the leg back. Twist the spine back towards the mat. Drop onto the forearms. Perfect. Now connect the ribcage into the torso. Lengthen the back of the neck. My head is in a bit of a naughty position because I'm talking to you guys, but I want you guys, your eye line is boring, unfortunately. It's going to look straight down to the mat. We breathe out, unless you're looking up at the monitor, of course. So we breathe out, we lift up. Inhale, we lower down. I'm trying to control what's going on with my core as my leg lifts and lowers in the sky. I have another 5, 4, 3, 2, keep that knee straight. I know we get tired, we bend the knee, right? Last 1, now lift, hold, press through the rib cage. You're gonna circle the heel like we did on the other side, right? So super small circles around almost the size of a tennis ball, focusing on squeezing from that top glute. You have another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now reverse it back the way that you came. We're gonna do another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, then bend the knee all the way in, come back onto your palms, and then we're going to change positions. So I would like us to now sit ourselves onto our back. So we've warmed up all around our glutes and our lower abdominals, and now we're going to get a bit more into our upper abdominals. So when you're ready, guys, have your feet hip distance apart, hands on your knees. You roll the body all the way down onto the mat until you're right in the center. Now with your feet hip distance apart, your back nice and resting, we're gonna have our shoulders and our neck nice and open. I'm gonna get us just to take a couple of deep breaths here. So remembering that we wanna focus on always breathing into the rib cage and breathing really flat through the waist. So as I exhale, I sink everything down. My feet are hip distance apart, and I'm gonna get us to start by doing something called an ab prep move. So fingertips are gonna interlace, and you're going to bring your hands behind the back of the head to support the weight of the head. Now with the shoulders pulling right down, we're going to lengthen through the back of the neck. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, we're going to curl super slowly all the way up. Now I lift, my core is pulling in and down, but my chin is staying away from my chest. My elbows are wide. What we often see is this, yeah? So this is cheating. This means you're dragging your head and neck around, and you probably won't feel too much through your core. We're going to hold that position just for a few seconds, and then inhale and lower it all the way back down. Good, so I go exhale up, 2, 3, hold, push through those feet, they all matter. Inhale, lower it all the way down. So a lot of Pilates is about actually making movement happen in the body whilst keeping other parts of us still, which is what helps to create that mind and body awareness, right? So as I lift my torso, I'm also not curling my pelvis back to me in a massive way. I'm trying to keep really heavy through my hips. I'm gonna inhale, lower down, and then I exhale, a curl all the way up. We're gonna do 3 more just like this. Last 2, you should feel this just where your ribs and your abdominals meet. Now last 1, lift and hold, supporting the weight of the head with the hands, elbows are wide. I'm looking towards my toes. Now I'm going to keep this position, and I'm going to lift up onto my tiptoes. Now keeping right angle at the thighs, can you breathe out, lift one leg up into tabletop, hold, and then drop the leg down and do the same on the other side. So breathing out, opposite leg lifts, and then lower it down. Now what I'm trying to do is keep that leg super still at the knee joint, yeah? So the motion and the work comes from my lower abdominals. So I'm pulling up as I exhale, I'm lowering down as I inhale. You don't have to keep the head lifted as well. If it feels a little bit too much, you can keep the head down. Otherwise, we have 4 more. Good, keep deep breathing, pulling down through the waist. Your pelvis is staying stable. We have 3. Good, last 2. Now last 1, this is where it gets a bit trickier. Lift one leg up. Lift the other leg up. Make sure your lower back is still resting down on the mat, and we're going to hold this position. Good. From here, can I get you to keep the left leg stable? You're going to extend your right leg out to the back of the room and pull it all the way in. So we go and in.
Last 4. Good. Those abdominals should be getting a little warmer. No minor. Last 3. Good. Last 2. Now last one, extend the leg out, hold. Now lift the foot to the ceiling and then lower it all the way down. Lift the foot to the ceiling and then lower down. You've got again another 4. Good. Almost there. Last 3. Last 2. Breathing deep. And last 1. Bend the knee in. See if you can stick with it. If you need to reset, go ahead. So lengthen the leg out. Bend the knee in. We have another 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Now stretch the leg out. Hold it. Keep the knee straight. So the motion comes from my lower abdominals, hey? We've got another 4. And 3. Last 2. And then 1. Then bend the knee in. Roll the upper body down. Hug the knees into the chest. And give yourself just a little rock from side to side. Left or right. So the body and the spine gets a chance to just kind of reset. Now, I'm going to lift my legs. I'm going to squeeze my heels together. So that looks, just to show you, that looks like this. Pressed really firmly through the feet. We're going to bring the heels together, knees together. Now, you've got 2 options. You can lift up or you can have your hands down onto the mat. I'm going to press my heels so much so that my bottom works. So I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm going to breathe out and lengthen my legs on the diagonal. And then inhale and bend it all the way back. So I go and then pull back. Now my heels are super pressed together because I don't want my legs to disengage. So even now I'm working into my core. I'm also imagining my leg muscles engaging and wrapping around my thigh bones. Want to make this harder? We just curl up and then we do the same thing. We're going to do another 4. Elbows wide, chest is lifted. Your chin is about a fist distance away from your chest. We have 3, 2, and then 1. Now here's the challenge. Stretch the legs out. Can you separate the heels hip distance and can you do a little flutter kick with those thighs? You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees back into your tabletop position. Pause and hold. Okay, we're going to say hello to your obliques now. So those are the muscles that wrap around the side of the waist. We're going to do this just with a really simple oblique twist. So I curl myself up. I'm going to extend my left leg. My left elbow is going to reach towards my right knee. I inhale, come back through my center. Exhale, I twist and rotate to the opposite side. Now focus on your breath out because as you exhale, you gently rotate through the body a little better, hey? So as you breathe out, twist. Kind of imagine, you know when you've got too much water in a towel and you wring the towel out? It's the same idea. Your breath can wring out your waistline. So we have 4 more, just like this. Good, last 3. Keep deep breathing, keep supporting the weight of the head with the hands. Last 2. And then last 1, we're gonna have a mini hold. Twist, rotate, hold. Shoulders are down, elbows are wide. You're gonna try and bring the knee towards the elbow. Good, lengthen through the top of the head. Drop the opposite knee a little more. We've got 5 seconds. Last 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Come back through center. Same on the other side. Twist, rotate, hold. Elbows are wide, core is engaged. We have another 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Then roll it all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest and give the spine a little massage, just like we did before, rocking left to right and right to left. Lovely, guys. Okay, we'll change positions again. So now I would like us to move into a bit of side lying position. So that means that the back of your mat, we would like your spine aligned with that. So elbow is going to be down. Doesn't matter which side you lie on because we're going to do both, obviously. You've got your knees and shins forwards. Now, there's a few positions we can be with our head. Either up like this, which I might do because I'm going to talk at you guys, but you can equally be resting if that feels better for your body. Now you're going to have your knees and shins at the front of the mat, the hips are at the back. There's a little gap through your underside waist, which shouldn't be too hard to create. So you know where we were just doing all that core work, lift up through the abdominals, like you were just in the previous exercise. Hand is on your top hip. We're going to take our top leg and we're going to extend it to the back of the room. So make sure that you've got a straight line at the front of the hip. I'm going to lift up so I can talk to you guys a little bit better. But hand is on top hip. Heel is reaching back. I know we're taking a little longer to set up in this, but really, because the body is so complex, if we're not in the right position, sometimes I'll work the wrong part of me. So we're going to start to squeeze into that butt to pull the heel backwards. And now can you get your leg to just lift an inch up and then lower an inch down. Again, I should be in a straight line, right from the top of my head, through my shoulders, my hips, my knee, and in towards my heel. Tummy's engaged. I can always bring my hand in front of me if I need a little bit more support. And I want us to think about, again now, that idea of reaching, yeah? So my head is lengthening in one direction. My stomach is staying engaged. As I lift and lower through my heel, I want you to squeeze into that top glute. So it's finding the work in the body at first, and then keeping it there. Okay, guys, we've got another 5, just like this. Last 4. And 3. Last 2. And 1. Now lift the heel high. You're gonna bend the knee and then bend it so it's hovering over the other leg. You're then gonna extend and press the leg backwards. Inhale, we bend and draw the knee in. So I'm keeping the thigh in line with my pelvis so that I keep that glute muscle working. Your glutes are actually part of your core, right? So often we think of our abdominals as just being our core, the front of our torso, but your core starts right from the bottom of your pelvis right to the top of your shoulders. So it's really important that we work our glutes. Not just least because we want nice toned bums, but also because your glutes support your spine, right? So if your spine is not supported, then you're more likely to have lower back problems. We're gonna do 3 more like this. So that's another reason why it's really good to work our glutes. Last 2. And then last one now, can you kick your foot forwards to the front of your mat? Your foot is going to be at an angle towards the body, and we're going to breathe out, we're going to lift upwards and lower down. And if you didn't feel them before, now is where they should really, really kick in, right? So we're going to do another couple just like this. So we breathe out and we lift. Inhale and we lower. We have 4. And 3. Last 2. Now last one, lift that leg right up to the ceiling and hold it. Stretch and reach to the heel. Make sure your stomach is engaged. Tiny little lifts. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bend the knee in and give the bum a really good tap. Super. Stay on that side. Come up onto your elbows. We're going to swing the knees now to the back of the room. So now we're going to go into a little bit of obliques before we go into the other side. So we'll get one side completely done, and then we'll move over. So elbows pressing, core is engaged. You're going to push your pubic bone forward, so you should be as stacked as possible. Now from here, you can have your hand on your hip. We want to stabilize into your undersized shoulders. I'm really hypermobile, so for me even this is challenging because our upper shoulder wants to work. But we're going to push up, hold. Now you're going to stretch the opposite arm up to the ceiling, squeeze your glutes forwards, and then lower the hips an inch, and breathe out and squeeze and lift up. Inhale, we lower down. Exhale, we're going to squeeze and lift. So what I would like us to do is trying to find those oblique muscles we worked when we were doing our rotational stuff, you know, with the oblique twist. If you want to make this harder, you extend the top leg. You can either have it off the mat or you can have it down. Good, we have another 5, 4, and 3, 2, now 1. Now lift and hold, stretch the arm above the body, reach the leg out. Can I get you to squeeze your underside waist, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bend the knee and the arm into the body, swing the legs around, and let's go over to the other side. So my back is going to lay in line with the back of the mat. My knees and shins are all the way forwards. Remember, you have a few options with the arms. So if you want to be resting, that's cool, but make sure those abs aren't resting, right? Because sometimes when we're laying down, it's harder to activate through the abdominals. And what I want us to do is still keep that core muscles really switched on. Hips are stacked, and then top hip slightly further forwards, rib cage in. From there, we lift the leg and we're going to extend the thigh all the way out. Your hip should be flush, because your glutes are your hip extensors, so we want extension at the front of the hip. So if you're not sure, a good way to test is just to do this. Heel is reaching right back, head is reaching right forwards, stomach is keeping really switched on, and then we lift and we lower, and we lift and lower. Good. Now, sometimes one side of the body might feel a bit different than the other. You know, our bodies are complex and we use them differently. So I might be stronger through my right glute, especially if I'm more dominant in that leg, or in my left, depending on what handed I am. So try and focus on whether you're feeling it in the right place. So it should be around that kind of top area of your bum. So if you're wearing jeans, kind of where your jeans back pocket would be. Right, we're going to do a handful more just like this. So breathing out as you lift and inhaling as you lower. We have 4. And 3, last 2, Now last one, lift the leg up and hold. We bend the knee into the body, inhaling, and then we're going to breathe out and we're going to push the heel all the way out. Good. When you're ready, you bend the knee in, keeping it high, and then breathe out and lengthen all the way away. So a lot of Pilates is about finding the work in the body, hey? So when I'm breathing and moving like this, I'm with my mind's eye trying to picture more engagement through my glutes. So really pulling up through the back of the body as I stretch the leg back and keeping that engagement as I come all the way in. I've got another 5, just like this. Last 4, 3, almost there, last 2. Now last one, extend the leg out, keep the knees straight. Bring the foot forward so it's in line with the edge of your mat. We're going to lift the heel up and lower the heel down. Now we should feel a lot more through the thigh because my legs are shaking a little bit on this side. I went running yesterday, so. Okay, so we're going to lift and lower for another 4. Good, last 3. Last 2. Now last one, lift that leg up and hold. I'm shaking a little bit. Hopefully you are too. We've got 5 seconds. Last 4. 3, 2, and then 1. Then drop the leg down. Very nice work. Give the bum a quick tap if it needs to. That helps always. Drop onto your elbow. And then from there, you're going to scoot your knees back. So it looks a bit like you're in a straight line, yeah? Find the position where your elbow is directly underneath your shoulders. We're going to squeeze through your underside armpit. And then you're going to push up into your pelvis. Push your pelvis forwards to me. Try and again find those obliques. Arm is up towards the ceiling. And we're going to lower down. And we're going to lift up. And lower and lift. And use the breath. Think. You should feel as you breathe out that your abdominals contract more, right? So that's the aim here. Good, we've got a handful more, and if you want to make it harder, you extend the leg as you continue. Good, we have another 3. Good, last 2. Now last one, now lift and hold, squeeze, extend the top arm and the leg. Really pull up through the underside waist. We're going to hold here for another 10 seconds. Last 9, 8, make sure that top hip hasn't rolled back, so hips are still stacked. Reach to those fingertips like someone's pulling your hands and toes. Last 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Very nice work, guys. Okay, coming all the way down. From here, I'm going to get us to work now a little bit on another position that we talk about in Pilates, which is your prone. So prone is laying down on our stomach, because a lot of the work that we do in Pilates is about trying to improve our posture, yeah? And so we spend a lot of time in modern day life, often on our phones or driving or on laptops. So a lot of us have these kind of rolled forward shoulders positions that, you know, cause us neck tension, etc., etc. So we're going to do some work to do gentle back bending. Now be careful with your lower back because of course we want to keep everything nice and safe. But what I'd like us to do is come and lay yourself all the way down onto your mat. You're going to have your forehead down and you're going to have your feet nice and lengthened all the way away. So hands are going to be slightly wider than the mat. Elbows are going to be in line with the shoulders. You can see my shoulders are a bit unstable, so I have to always roll them all the way back. I push my pubic bone in the mat, and I'm going to pull my stomach up so that my lower back stays nice and relaxed. Now, whilst I'm here, my forehead is going to drop down. Now, I'm going to get us to push into your pubic bone, lift your tummy, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Now, as you inhale, you're going to hover your nose, project the top of your head forwards, press into your palms, and lift your breastbone off the mat as you pull your shoulders down. So, minuscule movement, but where I should feel this is here. So these are your mid-back muscles, and they're really, really, really imperative for good posture. So shoulders are down, my head is reaching forwards. I'm going to squeeze my bum and hold for a second, and then I lower back down onto the mat. I'm going to do just a couple more like this. So inhaling, hovering, retract the shoulders, project the head, tummy's engaged, pause for a second, and then lower it all the way down. And I get us to do 2 more just like this. Just starting to find the range of motion that feels good for your body. Maybe coming up a little higher as we get a little more confident. Good. We're going to do once more like this. And then from here, can I get us to hold? Now, if your back feels okay with this, we're going to pull your stomach in. You're going to start to press into your hands. Keep your stomach engaged. And we're going to lift and lift and lift and lift. And then this should actually feel like a really great stretch for the abdominals, as well as starting to mobilize into your back. Bend and soften the elbows down as you lower down. You're not collapsing. It's about controlling the muscles as you lift and as you lower. We'll do 3 more. So inhaling up Pushing into those palms, rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest. We can look forwards, watch that your head and neck placement is nice. Then we're not doing this with the head, and we're also not over here. Good. Lowering all the way down. I know there's a lot of talking in Pilates, but because there's lots of fine details to the form of this, if we're sometimes even out of the right move by just an inch, we kind of feel it really differently, right? Okay, last one. Now from here, you're going to push into those palms, lift the chest and squeeze your tummy and hold for 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Then lower the body all the way down. Bring the hands into the mat. Lift yourself up and then separate the thighs. Sink your bum to your heels and drop the head in between the palms. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then bring yourself all the way up into seated. So just like we started class, we're going to finish seated. We're going to roll our shoulders back and lift up tall through the crown of the head. And that is us for today. So thank you so much for joining me today. Together, we've collected 30 minutes of activity. Remember that Dubai Fitness challenges you to collect 30 minutes for 30 days. And you've got this. Don't forget to tag Dubai Fitness Challenge and hashtag Dubai3030 when sharing your fitness journey. And remember to follow me at Miriam T Pilates. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.